Hi, John Russell, internationally known professional psychic, paranormal investigator, and published author. Can we talk? How many people here are old enough to remember that tagline and remember who it belongs to? Anybody? Okay, Joan Rivers, God rest her soul. Can we talk? I want to talk today. Can we talk? We just have so much idiocy that we believe about this world that we live in. One of the things that I saw on Facebook since Russia has invaded Ukraine was the ghost of Kiev, the famous Ukrainian fighter pilot that has bravely taken down anywhere from 6 to 20 Russian jets in dogfights. 6 to 20, depending upon which version of it that you get. So I have, as a almost decades long now, friend of mine who was born in the Ukraine, is a Ukrainian national, and him and his mother and his deceased father, now deceased, became like family to me over the years. We've kept in touch every single day of our friendship by text and emails and on Messenger, on Facebook, and so on and so forth. Every single day, most of the time, several times a day since our friendship began. So he gives me all the truth of what's actually happening there in Ukraine and what's actually going on. So I asked him about this ghost of Kiev, this marvelous apparition that appears from the Ukrainian Air Force, this mighty fighter pilot who downs all these Russian jets. He said there's not a shred of truth to it. There's absolutely nothing to it at all. And as a matter of fact, it's a laughingstock in Ukraine for some of the people that are pictured in fighter jets as being the ghost of Kiev, and so on and so forth. So, sorry, no ghost of Kiev, no marvelous Ukrainian fighter pilot striking fear and terror in the hearts of the Russians. A myth. It's a myth. Doesn't exist. That from a Ukrainian national. Okay? Oh, why are we talking about that? Can we talk? Well, there is some scuttlebutt among a few people that if Putin were to go mad and push the button and we started a nuclear war, that the aliens, the ETs, the folks that drive the UFOs, would intervene and stop it. Wow, really? I don't think so, for reasons that I've discussed with you many times before. They don't seem to be too intent right now on helping out humanity or the earth as it stands right now. Abductions, cattle mutilations tied to them, so on and so forth. And there's not any solid recorded evidence I know of that I could hang my hat on that said they came down and healed me, or they did this, or they did that, or they made humanity better, or whatever. If it doesn't exist, I'm willing to see it if it's out there in fact, not in somebody's opinion, not in some vision they received in a meditation, not in some supposed, well, I met this UFO craft in the middle of the forest in the middle of the night and they told me this. Yeah, and what good's it done? Again, go heal the little kids in St. Jude Children's Hospital, and then I will be impressed. I will be more than willing to listen to what you have to say. This stuff has to be factual. It has to work, okay? And it has to be something we can hang our hats on. More and more and more stuff in ufology is just speculation. I could tell you, but I won't, or I can't, or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's just stringing this out into theater now. And I'm pretty tired of it. So, anyways, no, I don't believe the aliens are going to intervene to save us from nuclear war. And one friend of mine said, well, they might not intervene to save us. They might intervene to save this wonderful planet. Well, let me tell you about this wonderful planet that we live on. I saw a documentary on TV, and it was rather fascinating. It was about the way trees communicate. The trees are intelligent. And trees of the same species will send signals to each other in the soil through their root systems and work to help each other to take over and dominate an area of forest. They've also discovered that trees of a different species will send out signals through their roots to trees of the other species, a different species, saying, stay away, this is my territory, don't encroach. Okay? So apparently there's a form of class system or racism or whatever you want to call it, even among trees. So beautiful nature, yeah, we look at it and think it's so great, and meanwhile the trees are like, hey, keep over there, keep your distance. Another thing, people think that nature, the animals, the beautiful creatures on this planet, they're just so noble and they're so good and so on and so forth. Well, with a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of research, you can prove how false that is. I'll tell you 3 experiences I've had. First thing I read about was duck rape. Male ducks get so horny that they will gangbang a female duck, and the rape gets so violent, the gang rape gets so violent that sometimes they're holding her head underwater. They've got her by the neck, and her head's forced underwater while they're mounting her, and they'll drown her in some cases. Beautiful nature. I saw a documentary on TV, and the photographer's out there at night, and I didn't know this. Apparently, elephant groups travel a lot at night. So the photographer's out there at night, and there's this abandoned, orphaned baby elephant calf, little bitty tiny thing, out there in the darkness, and in the darkness you can see the glowing eyes of the hyenas as the predators begin to encircle and close in on this helpless baby elephant. Well, hallelujah, here comes a big herd of elephants tromping along through the night. Dun, 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 dun. So, yay. No. As you watch, the elephants go by this baby elephant on their merry little way, and you can see the horror-stricken panic in this little baby elephant. Help me, help me, help me. And it's turning and it's trying to follow them. And one of the elephants turns around, turns back, pushes the baby elephant away, turns around and goes on back with the herd. And then so here's the little baby elephant out there all by itself. Isn't nature wonderful? And the hyenas are closing in. Well, somewhere along the way, somebody got conscience stricken, and the herd turned around just in time, in the nick of time, came back and got the baby elephant and took it. But initially, on your way, you little bastard, don't mess around with us. Yeah, isn't nature wonderful? Saw another documentary with tigers. Oh, wonderful, noble beasts, so pretty, so bad. Yeah. Tigers still attack and kill and eat a lot of people. Ask villages that are terrorized by tigers what they think of them. But anyways, in this documentary, tigers are gang-oriented and they have territory, just like human gangs. You walk into a gang member's territory, you're going to pay the penalty. If you're a gang member and you go in another gang member's territory, they're going to be held to pay. And just like humans, tigers have gangs and they have territory. And this one female tiger walked into the wrong turf, the wrong territory. And the female tigers of that turf, of that territory, attacked her and spent the entire night tormenting her before they killed her. They could have killed her very quickly. They could have chased her off and let her go. But they chose to surround her and attack her repeatedly and torture her and torment her the entire night before they finally killed her. Aren't animals wonderful? Nature itself. Boy. Tornadoes, no regard for human life. Hurricanes, no regard for human life or property. Volcanoes, no regard for human life or property. Tsunamis, no regard for human life or property. Yeah, isn't nature wonderful? Yeah, boy, I can see all kinds of reasons the aliens would intervene to save nature. Yeah, unless they have better control of it, better luck living with it than we do. And then finally, you go out in nature and you find medicines, plants, herbs, things that in some cases will help to cure or at least ameliorate certain diseases and illnesses and things. And in searching for that in nature, it's well known that there's one plant that has a certain look and it's either beneficial to you medicinally or you can eat it to stay alive. Another plant that looks almost exactly identical, or in some cases identical, will kill you. So let's not have this over glorified Disney glasses on version of looking at nature and animals and things and think, oh, well, if they wouldn't save us, they'd save this beautiful, wonderful planet, which is constantly erupting and terrorizing us with tornadoes and hurricanes and tsunamis and other catastrophic events, earthquakes, floods, fires, and then the animal kingdom, which turns on itself. Birds cannibalize birds. What do you think hawks eat? Hawks will happily eat other birds. I am a professional photographer and fine artist, and for a number of years, I took a lot of macro and close-up photographs of dragonflies and became quite enamored with them. And they're vicious little son of a bitches. They've attacked me. They have vicious fangs in their mouth, and boy, when they bite you, you know you've been bitten. The bigger ones can actually pierce the skin, and I've been bitten by them. And they're cannibals. I went out one morning early to shoot, and I saw a dragonfly gobbling something down. I was like, what in the world? And I went over and set up and got focused, and he's sitting there just happily eating this other dragonfly. Just chowing it down as fast as he could. So animals are cannibals, well-known fact. There's not that much grace or love or whatever respect in nature. It's pretty much kill or be killed, eat or be eaten, and sometimes do it just for the sake of sport. It's been documented that dolphins will kill for sport and attack other sea creatures for sport. So let's not glamorize this thing. Let's not Disneyfy this thing, because in so doing we lose touch with reality and we put out a false hope in beings that have shown very little, if any, interest in our well-being to begin with. So why would they care about us or our planet? They haven't to this point. And I made the statement that they didn't stop us from bombing Japan repeatedly and dropping the nuclear bombs on Japan. A friend of mine pointed out, well, maybe we didn't have mutually assured destruction then. I'm still not sure they would intervene. I don't see any reason they would. I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that, because they're not shutting down Russia's nukes as far as I know. They're not shutting down our nukes as far as I know, and they're not landing on the White House lawn and at the Kremlin going, hey guys, we need to put an end to this. Y'all can destroy this planet, destroy yourselves. I'm not seeing that. I think that cooler heads on Earth are going to have to prevail, and I think we have to get rid of the Disney visions in our head. And that's my message. So I hope that we've had a good talk and it's made some sense for you. Okay. Buy my books, if you will. Writing with Ghost Angels and the Spirits of the Dead. A Knock in the Attic. You can get information for both at writingwithghost.net and knockintheattic.net. They're available at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon. Subscribe to my channel. If you need a reading, go to johnrussell.net. Click on the link to schedule a reading. Right now, I'm almost scheduling into August. It's a ways out there right now, so things are pretty full. So if you need a reading, get in there as quick as you can. And appreciate you listening to me. God bless you. Keep your eyes on the skies, your head on a swivel, and your feet on the ground. Okay? Love you. God bless. Till next time. Bye-bye.